invite our next panel up to the stage. Can Goma and Vanya come and meet Elise on this side?
Defending my mouth open again, I never know.
Well, it's my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Vijayanathan Thusandra, who goes by Tushi, is a strong youth advocate from Sri Lanka, and really amazed us at the panel on which he spoke at the Women Deliver conference, at which FHI 360 was able to have a social norms change panel. He is a strong advocate for gender equality and breaking down gender norms. Please help me thank and welcome Tushi.
At the age of 11, I used to play with the girl near my home in the eastern part of Sri Lanka. One day, all of a sudden, that girl didn't come to play with me. I was wondering and asked my friend why. And my friend said, she is a big girl now. So that is a local term we use in Sri Lanka when the girls reach puberty. A few weeks later, I saw her. There was no difference in appearance. I asked the same friend, you said she's a big girl, but she looks same. So he replied me, she's matured now and ready to become a mother. So I was more curious than earlier and asked him, so how do girls become mothers? So he replied me, if you touch her hand, and both of your sweat will mix together, and she will get pregnant. So I was afraid to touch her hand even when we are playing together. So I didn't want to be a father at that age. Who wants to be a father at age of 11? It was crazy. So this is the reality of sexual and reproductive health education in Sri Lanka. I don't feel anything has significantly changed since then. Now, even though people call me as a global youth advocate in the field of sexual and reproductive health rights, I didn't have any clue on what is puberty at the age of 11. I was socialized in a culture where puberty was celebrated as a big family function, yet talking about sex is a taboo. In Sri Lanka, we don't have comprehensive sexuality education in schools. We also don't have youth-friendly sexual and reproductive health services. Most of the time, young people get information from peers, just like me. Sadly, the curiosity of young people drives them to pornography, which is an inaccurate and misleading way of getting information. We don't have proper vocabulary to talk about sexual and reproductive health. We only use slang words. It's a barrier for young people to ask from elders, from others. Sri Lanka National Human Development 2013 report indicates that over half of the young people who have participated in the National Youth Survey were unaware of contraceptive methods. Also, 55% of young people from the survey had no knowledge of available sexual and reproductive health services closest to where they are living. The current use of contraception is really low. As per the Family Planning Association of Sri Lanka statistics, between 100 and 270 unsafe abortions performed annually. Every day, 5 to 6 rape cases and child abuse cases being reported in the police. We do not know how many are not reported. Every 3 months, 30 new HIV/AIDS cases being reported in STI clinics. Gender-based abuse in public transport considered as normal. No one complained about that. Information that young people receive in school, it's not enough. The gap between the knowledge and information of young people they want and what they receive, it's not enough. Most of the people think advocating for comprehensive sexuality education will encourage people to have more sex. Personally, I have many friends who have experienced unsafe abortion and have struggled with sexual and reproductive health issues and myths. For an example, one myth about virginity was passed down from Victorian colonial rulers. Most of the men and women believe a girl should bleed during her first sexual intercourse. Then only she is a virgin and pure. Most of the Sri Lankan think that is our cultural belief, but it is not. It is not at all. It was imported. There are just few of major problems we need to work in Sri Lanka to educate ourselves about sexual health and reproductive health services. I have always felt that call to address these problems. Many of my friends always ask me, why do you work on women's rights? And some of them even ask me, don't you have any better way to earn money? So when people ask me, it's actually painful because this is the work what I love to do. So the reason I started to work on gender and women's rights, it's very personal. It has gradually grown up to my profession and passion. My stepsister, who is 6 years younger, was in a relationship with a boy. After some time, they broke up. All of a sudden, intimate pictures of her were shared in the internet. She became the victim of online shaming. Our family as well as ridiculed. This is a type of occurrence that often causes a Sri Lankan girl to commit suicide because she isn't able to deal with the shame. However, my family stood by her. Most of my distant family members and the people from our village started to blame my sister. Still they do. But we reached to a point where we don't care anymore. However, something clicked in my mind. Why do people blame my sister rather than blaming the person who has betrayed her love? This made me to do something. This specific incident had an impact on what I have been doing for last 6 to 7 years in Sri Lanka and pushed me to activism. I started to work on gender and sexual reproductive health as a grassroots level volunteer. I realized available sexual and reproductive health related information is not youth friendly. It's very hard for young people in Sri Lanka to understand English or highly technical medical terms related to sexual and reproductive health. I was trained as international master trainer on YPA methodology with the support of United Nations Population Fund. We launched YPA network in Sri Lanka and pioneered the concept of edutainment. This is a combination of education and entertainment. We explored how we could disseminate sexual health and gender knowledge through arts, debate competition, songs, poem, and forum theater. Our key aim of this campaign is to make talking about sex, which has been taboo, something that is cool. We realized working with government and faith-based organization is really crucial to advancing sexual and reproductive health intervention in Sri Lanka. I have had the opportunity to work with variety of young people, including marginalized youth, sex workers, people living with HIV and AIDS, young people with disabilities. Last year, I was appointed as World Contraception Day Ambassador for Asia by Women Deliver and Bayer Healthcare Products. With their support, I ran an online campaign. Let me show to you all what we have created.
I love you.
Excuse me, or a condom packet on it.
I love you.
എക്സ്ക്യൂസ് മീ, ഒരു കോണ്ടം പാക്കറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ.
I love you.
ഒരു കോണ്ടം പാക്കറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ. Thank you. Thanks.
As I have pointed out earlier, this is one of the effort we made to make talking about sex, especially disabled young people's sexual health, make it cool. Young people with disabilities have the same sexual and reproductive health needs as other people, yet often face barriers to accessing information on services, sexual reproductive health services and knowledge. I strongly believe in the power of meaningful conversations. This is why we are helping to initiate meaningful discussion among young peoples, policymakers, and key decision makers on challenges that young people with disabilities face in accessing sexual and reproductive health information and services. Most of the already available videos and resources show young people with disabilities in a sympathetic or patronizing way. As a team, we have decided we will change this. We made a video and campaign that is positive and empowering way. We have received many positive response about this campaign from leading government and non-profit sector partners such as Ministry of Health and UN agencies. They also started to see now sexual and reproductive health as an essential right of young people with disabilities. There are thousands of girls and boys been facing discrimination through patriarchal every day. There are many young people who face serious issues related to sexual and reproductive health. Although we need policy changes and systematic challenges to address this problem, we can also address them in a very local or a personal way. We can start at our home and with our friends. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about gender. Let's work with all young people in our lives to make this difference. Thank you all very much.